And thank you for joining us today on another episode of The Blue Flag. I'm the broadcaster, and thank you for joining me once again. So today I'm going to be talking about something that has been big in the world of IndyCar for the past couple of days. So it has been officially released that IndyCar has just taken the Auto Club Speedway race, the MAVTV 500, out of the schedule for 2016. According to Mark Miles, he said, and I quote, "There was a tremendous amount of effort put forth to keep the Auto Club Speedway on the calendar. We mutually agreed that our inability to identify a date for next year doesn't preclude us revisiting these conversations in the future." In other words, they were not able to get a date for this next year, 2016, but they could keep the option to include it later open. Honestly, I must say I'm extremely disappointed. As I mentioned in my previous podcast, Fontana was an extremely good race. We saw side-by-side racing all the time, epic passes, went 3 wide, 4 wide. We even saw drivers go all the way from the 11th position to the lead. That really shows you how epic it was of a race. It was truly sad. I personally felt really sad to see it go because I saw the first race here back in 2012. I watched every single race up through this one, and it was honestly some of the greatest racing I'd ever seen. And I'm kind of biased here because I'm a Marco Andretti fan and everything, but he always did well at this track, so I always kind of enjoyed that race. Unfortunately, he never got a win here, but he did get a few pole positions. But unfortunately, according to ESPN, the Milwaukee Mile, located in West Allis, Wisconsin, and Pocono, located in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, those two tracks are also possibly in contention for being unable to be secured for the 2016 season. And those are also two of my favorite tracks. Not only because Marco does well there, but because the races overall have been entertaining there. You know, the strategy that you have to play out there, and I've had to see a lot of cool tracks go, like Phoenix and Michigan. Those tracks, they used to race at them. They had good races there, but they're unfortunately no longer racing there. However, actually, Phoenix is looking to come back. The Phoenix International Raceway. IndyCar raced there from the 80s to 2005. But yeah, I'm really hoping we could bring Phoenix back because Fontana was a good race, but since we don't have an oval out west now, we need something to replace that, and Phoenix would really make a good one. And but the one I've wanted to come back the most is definitely Michigan. That track, it's nearby. It's the race was always really good there, and Yeah, we've unfortunately had to see a lot of good tracks go. And another one of those tracks is Nazareth, That track is gone now. And I honestly blame Tony George because he is responsible for tearing apart open wheel racing. And that's something I'm actually going to get into in another episode. But long story short, that led to NASCAR's popularity. And as we proved in the last podcast, NASCAR sucks. And Nazareth Speedway is owned by the International Speedway Corporation, which is essentially NASCAR, and they don't want IndyCar racing at their track because that would make a ton more money for their rival series. So, yeah, it's Tony George's fault, basically, but it's super disappointing to see a lot of these tracks go. Like, I remember Baltimore, that was a really good race. I remember in 2013, that was honestly one of the best races on a road course that I've seen in a while. Like, that was great. There was passing left and right. There was even a part where, a ton of cars tried to go 4 wide into the hairpin, but then they all just clogged up the entire track, and they had to, make a detour around them through the pit lane. But, that was a fun race to watch, but, they weren't able to secure a date also, similar to, the fate of Fontana and of Michigan, but, I really, in general, hate to see a lot of these tracks go. It's really tough to see them go from both a driver's perspective and a fan's perspective, but, so far, not every date has been set in stone for the 2016 IndyCar season. The only ones that have been set in stone are St. Petersburg, which is the 15th through the 17th of March. Let's see, Long Beach, which is April. Also, Detroit is June 4th and 5th. The 100th running of the Indy 500 is May 29th, but yeah, we've only got a few set in stone so far, so, like, there are other tracks that could come back, like, even Michigan could come back for the 2016 season, who knows, but, yeah, I've got high hopes for the 2016 calendar. I'm really hoping that, there are going to be a lot less of these, like, 2 and 3 week gaps, and that there are going to be a lot more races, because, you know, these 2 and 3 week gaps are really painful, because, we're right now in the middle of a 3-week gap between the Mid-Ohio race, which was August 2nd, and the next race coming up is Pocono, which is August 23rd. But yeah, like a lot of these gaps can be really tough and annoying to deal with. So like from a fan's perspective and a driver's perspective, because they really want to get back out there and get paid for racing and stuff like that. But so yeah, I think I'm gonna leave you guys there with that podcast. Thanks for joining me on Blue Flags. I'm the broadcaster signing off.